Welcome back, everyone, here to Bronx Talks. Today, we're going to be talking about Jasson Dominguez and why he's not with the Yankees right now. First off, to begin, Jasson Dominguez has just gotten back off the injured list. He had that oblique injury. Actually came back sooner than expected. Same thing with the UCL injury that he had. He's come back sooner than expected. I think he's played, a handful of games there in Scranton. He's looked really good. We all know he could hit at the big league level. He's a very, very talented player. I think he's going to be a superstar in this league for many, many years. But the Yankees could certainly add his bat to the lineup. He'd be a big producer, no doubt about it. But we're going to talk about why he's not up yet with the Yankees. But I'm going to let you guys know that we will see Jasson Dominguez at some point this season.
Yeah, 100%. This is a guy that I think can really help the Yankees win the World Series, whether it's in a role starting or platooning or even just a guy on the bench. I mean, no matter what, he is an asset to the Yankees, and that's something you just can't ignore. Now, the New York Times published an article which was very interesting, and of course, we don't know if any of this is true, but I think there's a good likelihood that this could be playing into why Jasson Dominguez, we might not see him until September. So in order to remain eligible as a rookie, you need under 130 at-bats. So Jasson Dominguez, I believe if he has over 100 at-bats from now until the end of the season, then next year he would no longer be considered a rookie. And you might be asking, well, why does that matter? That just means he won't be eligible for the Rookie of the Year award. And the reason why the Yankees care about that is because if he wins AL Rookie of the Year, the Yankees earn a draft pick. I think it comes right after the first round. And look, we know how much the Yankees care about the draft picks. We've seen them already kind of be stingy before with calling up prospects, to get the extra year service time. So I really wouldn't put it past them that they could be trying to squeeze this out. And of course, I'm not saying it's the wrong move, but I think this could be playing into it a little bit.
Yeah, compensation picks are, certainly something that's very prevalent in baseball. And, a lot of teams, look to get them. Sometimes teams, don't trade a player because they're like, look, we're not going to get the value back and they're going to leave in free agency. We're going to get the compensation pick. I think one example of that could be 2021, I want to say, when the Rockies didn't trade Trevor Story. It happens. I think another reason, though, is the Yankees have a really easy schedule. They have one of the easiest schedules remaining in all of baseball. I think the month of August is really, really easy. They play the Angels, White Sox, Tigers, and then later on we'll play Oakland and stuff like that. Just their schedule is really, really easy. So I think it makes sense for the Yankees to, just play the schedule out and potentially get that compensation pick because the Yankees are going to win games. They brought in Jazz Chisholm. We've seen him already. The Yankees have won 6 of their last 7, I believe. So they're winning ball games. So I just don't know if they totally, need to shake everything up for Dominguez right now. You look in the outfield, Verdugo has started to turn it around. Trent Grisham has played really, really well for like 2 months. And Stanton just came back off the IL. So I don't know if it totally works, logistically with the roster as of now. So I think it just makes sense for both sides. The Yankees are doing well. They have a very easy schedule. They don't need to shake everything up for Dominguez. And then, on the other hand, Dominguez is coming back from injury. Let him get some games under his belt. And then when you go to the playoffs, you have a fresh Jasson Dominguez who's gotten those reps. Rather than when you call him up right now, you can't guarantee him playing time every day, right? Because he's coming back from that injury. Stanton's in the DH spot, so you can't guarantee him playing time every day. And then who knows how that playing time works. He's not going to get into a lot of games. He could be a little cold, a little rusty. when the playoffs come around, you don't want that because he's a big impact player, and I think when the lights shine the brightest for this guy, he's going to come through in those big spots. So I think it just makes sense, in that aspect that the Yankees have a really easy schedule. They don't need to shake a ton of things up, and it's better just keep Dominguez there for now, get him those reps because they are going to need him at some point. And then, when that time comes, Jasson Dominguez will be ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, I completely understand all of it. Then, there's also the side of me that, as I watch Alex Verdugo's at bats, and, I get he got hot for a little bit, bad series against the Blue Jays. We'll see if he can turn it around. But so far, it's been a very disappointing season for him. And Trent Grisham actually has been pretty surprising. And, we're kind of at the point where Grisham's almost giving you more than Alex Verdugo. But, just watching the two of them and neither really, impressing, it's just hard to ignore that we just have this phenom outfielder in the minors that could be on the team right now. And I know it's not an easy roster switch. I know it would force the Yankees' hand. The Yankees also have bigger decisions coming up when John Birdie comes back and if Rizzo comes back, and even if they want to just call up Oswald Peraza, there's so many things that the Yankees, are going to have to worry about that it might, make Dominguez just sitting there until rosters expand easier. However, I also think there's something to be said for getting him up sooner rather than later, getting him acclimated, because keep in mind, he had, 30-something games last year in the big leagues when the Yankees were pretty much out of contention. Get him acclimated to this environment, get him some at-bats in the majors, and, depending on what he does, this guy could be starting playoff games for the Yankees. So, we'll see what they do, but I really wouldn't count this guy out. I really wouldn't write him off as just a bench guy for this year.
Yeah, and you could also look at it from the other perspective. Alex Verdugo, he had that really bad slump, but he's kind of turned things around. If you could get Alex Verdugo going, that'd be a big impact, for playoff time if you could get him going. So I think when you look at it that way, if Alex Verdugo can start playing a lot better, then you get an impact bat for the playoffs. We've seen signs of that rather than just making a switch now and you never really know. So I think there's a lot of different lenses you could look at it. I do think that, when it comes to Verdugo, I do think he's going to, turn around. We've shown some flashes of that, and I do think he's going to be better. And I think Dominguez is going to fit well in the Yankees, roster when it comes to playoff time. And I think they're going to be able to mix him in, find the right matchups for him. And, I could see him starting games and, it gives the Yankees some safety if a guy in the outfield does struggle, that they could go and start Dominguez. So I think it gives the Yankees options. It gives them flexibility. I think Cashman kind of alluded to it when he was asked about it right after the trade deadline about when Dominguez is going to come up. And he's like, it's nice to know we have him down there, but he was like, we like what we have right now. And I think that just shows the direction the Yankees are in right now and kind of what they want to do in their plans going forward.